Hey everyone, Jeffrey Michael here, and welcome to the very first ever edition of Jeffrey Michael's Movie Reviews Extravaganza. That title might change, I don't know, I just came up with it. I kind of like it. If you guys like that title, or if you can think of a better one, let me know in the comments below. I'm all ears. Anyway, on with the movie reviews. All right, so my first reviews will be of the movies released on the weekend of September the 8th, 2017. And they are It and Home Again. All right, so It is a horror film, is about a creepy clown that terrorizes children. Ooh. um, it is based on the novel by Stephen King. It was first adapted as a TV miniseries in 1990, starring Tim Curry as the titular menacing Harlequin, as it were. um, that miniseries was kind of safe and boring, to be honest. The only memorable thing about it was Tim Curry's performance, which is really great. Um, but yeah, this new version I think does a much better job adapting the novel because it is much scarier, much gorier, much frightening. Um, which is a great thing for me because, like I said in a previous video, I don't get scared like at all. So for a horror film to give me serious goosebumps while watching it, that alone is a winner in my book. um, but yeah, the movie, it's about a shape-shifting creature which has been terrorizing the town of Derry, Maine for the last millennia or so. Every 27 years, it comes out of hibernation for a year to stalk, terrorize, and eat children. The story takes place in 1989 and is about a group of kids who call themselves the Losers Club, who encounter all these crazy shape-shifting forms from this shapeshifter that scares them, and they all were band together to try and figure out what this thing is and how they can finally destroy it once and for all. Overall, this movie was, it was terrifying at times. I was actually surprised. It's also funny at times. It's also touching, which surprised me for a horror film. That's pretty rare. Now, no film is perfect. There are a couple, flaws. Some of the acting from the child actors is a little meh at times. Although the young actress who plays Beverly, oh, wow, she's really good. There's a scene in the movie where she cuts off all her hair, and I have to say, it will really break your heart when you watch it. Also, some of the computer effects are not quite up to snuff. They could have been better. But those are, just minor quibbles. This is a film I would definitely recommend for horror fans or anyone who just wants to have a good time at the movies. So overall, I think I would give my grade for that one a solid B plus. Go see it in theaters if you can. Okay, so my next film that I'll be reviewing is Home Again, starring Reese Witherspoon, Candice Bergen, and Michael Sheen. It is directed by the daughter of the great director Nancy Meyers. Nancy Meyers, if you don't know, she's directed films like What Women Want, Something's Gotta Give, It's Complicated, and The Intern. And so this movie is the directorial debut of her daughter, Hallie Myers Shire. I think I said it right, Hallie Myers Shire. Yep, that was a hard name to say. And she's like mother, like daughter. Her movie is also about a rich white privileged girl who's so sad and unhappy despite living in an expensive house and expensive clothes. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's a fun movie. It stars Reese Witherspoon. She plays a newly separated mom of two girls. They all move back to her late father's home in California. Her father was a famous film director, and her mother, played by Candice Bergen, was the starlet who starred in many of his films. She was much younger than him, and she was his fifth wife, but that's a different story. Not long after she moves back into her father's home, Reese Witherspoon's character celebrates her 40th birthday, and in the process, she meets three homeless aspiring filmmakers, all male, in their 20s. And before you know it, her mother is inviting all three of those boys to stay in their guest house. What could go wrong there? They only known them for a day, and they couldn't possibly be drug dealers or rapists. What could go wrong? And what do you know? Apparently nothing does, because these three boys turn out to be the best thing for them because they all form one big happy family unit. And everything is all tranquil, and even Reese's character ends up, pursuing a romance with one of those guys. Lolita much? And all is all great and fine until, her ex, who she's not quite divorced from, played by Michael Sheen, re-enters the picture, and he decides, I want to be a better father and husband. Please take me back. And, she's stuck here with this guy, and then this relationship. Whew, what is a miserable, rich, white, privileged girl to do? I mean, um, overall, this is the kind of film that I would call romantic comedy light or rom-com light. There's romance and there's comedy. I just wish that there was more of both. It's one of those kind of movies that I wouldn't recommend seeing in a theater for $10. More like you would see in a rainy Sunday afternoon when there's not much else on. I mean, it's a fun, it's cute, it's fun, it's harmless. It's just not very life-changing if you just want to have, or maybe you don't want that, if you want to watch a movie where, you can sit back, relax, and not turn your brain off, sure, why not? Overall, I would get this film probably a B minus, not bad, not good, just nice time at the movies. That's it. All right, next I'll be covering the movies that were released on September the 15th, 2017. And they are Mother with an exclamation point and American Assassin. Now, Mother with an exclamation point stars Jennifer Lawrence, Javier Bardem, Ed Harris, and Michelle Pfeiffer. It is from acclaimed and artistic director Darren Aronofsky, who brought you such films as Pi, Requiem for a Dream, The Wrestler, and Black Swan. Now, Mother, it stars a couple played by Jennifer Lawrence and Javier Bardem. They're living in an old house out in the middle of nowhere. He's a writer with writer's block, and she plays his wife, who is using her time to restore the house just to the way that she wants to see it. Now, their lives are disrupted suddenly by a strange couple who come in and completely disrupt their lives. And then more strangers come in the picture, and they completely get the house destroyed. In the process, they shoo them away, and everything gets back to being tranquil and calm. Jennifer Lawrence finds out that she's pregnant with their first child, hence the mother of the title, and he manages to overcome his writer's block, and all is happy and joyful until months go by when she's about to give birth, and then even more strangers come into the picture, and the destruction continues. I mean, let's just say the last third is crazy. I mean, let's just say all hell breaks loose, literally. And the ending, oh my gosh, it is shocking and will probably leave you shaking your head. Now, let me just say that, first of all, that this movie is not for everyone. In fact, it received polarizing reactions at both the Venice and the Toronto film festivals. I mean, even Jennifer Lawrence and the director have both come out saying that there is no middle ground to this movie. You either will love it or you will hate it with a passion. So if you're one of the kind of people who, that goes to the movies, mainstreaming, you want to see a nice, good escape from the movies, probably you shouldn't see this. But for a cinephile like myself, I like to see a movie that, doesn't play it safe, that really pushes the boundaries of what film can do. That's what I love about Darren Aronofsky films. He tries to go for more artistic movies. I mean, his characters in this movie are more allegories rather than actual humans. I mean, there's biblical references, there's Mother Earth. I could do a whole separate video actually about, just dissecting this film, but that's for another time. So basically, if you've seen Black Swan, then you'll know for a Darren Aronofsky film, you're going to expect to see, something dark, that's creepy, that will shock you, that will make you disgust you. But I like that. I like to get a reaction out of movies rather than just playing it safe and boring. So overall, because of the great acting and the ability to play, to really push themselves, I would give this film a solid B. Although a lot of you out there probably give it an F, and that's okay, And so my advice is, see the film if you really want to see a movie that, challenges your emotions. But for most of you, you probably wouldn't want to see it. So proceed with caution, but don't say I didn't warn you. All right, so my next film that I will cover is American Assassin, starring Dylan O'Brien and Michael Keaton. American Assassin is based on the novel by the late Vince Flynn. It is actually the first story in a series of books, about CIA operative Mitch Rapp. Mitch Rapp, who's the main character, who's played by Dylan O'Brien. You might know him from the Maze Runner movies or the TV show Teen Wolf. His character lost his parents at a young age, and then in the opening film scenes of the film, he then loses his fiancée to a terrorist attack. Whew, So, vowing revenge, he uses his skills to track down those terrorists, to seek out his revenge on them. And as he does, he ends up getting picked up by the CIA. And they could either lock him up for life, but they see the potential in what skills that he has, and so they send him off to be trained under the former Navy SEAL Stan Hurley, played wonderfully by the actor Michael Keaton. And so together, they go on a mission to track down a new group of terrorists led by Ghost, who may or may not share a link to Stan Hurley's past. Ooh, twist. Overall, this is a nice, conventional thriller. Aside from great performances, especially by Michael Keaton, I mean, there's not much else in this movie that, we haven't seen in, like, countless others, espionage or spy thrillers. I think overall I would give it a solid C+, and there was hints that because this is the first in a series of books, I'm assuming that if this film does well, that they'll be making more of them based on the other books, but if it does well. But let's just say that I probably won't be losing sleep if they decide not to do that. So, yeah, C+, if you really like thrillers, probably go see it. If not, then probably not. So, to recap, It, scary, good, fun time at the movies. B+, my number one recommendation in this video, see it. Home Again, sweet and harmless rom-com light, B-, rainy Sunday afternoon. Mother, with an exclamation point, bold artistic film that will leave you talking, good or bad, B or F, depending on who you are. Proceed with caution. And American Assassin, nice conventional thriller, C+, see it if you really like that kind of movie, otherwise skip. Okay, that'll do it for my first ever edition of Jeffrey Michaels Movie Reviews Extravaganza. Title pending. Until next time, happy movie watching, everybody. So long for now.